And we are live.
Ayo, it's time to go. Yeah, you know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's on. Now let's listen.
Wow, was that something new?
It was. It was. I forgot until I was right in that moment. But yes,
Oh my goodness. I may just like that.
I was prepared for either. I think I like it too. It's very zippy. We'll get to hear it one more time in our closing.
I need to hear it one more time because my ears were not prepared. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to Mother and Son Making Sense Out of Nonsense. I'm the mother and he's the son. And we're also live on Noom Vibe. But if you want to see our faces, if you want to see the mugs, we're live on my YouTube channel, which is Rebecca Norrington. What? She said Rebecca Norrington YouTube. If you want to see what she looks like, and he looks just like her, so except for no curly hair. So there you go, live on YouTube. Welcome to the show.
Wow, maybe that song really did zip us right in. You're all zipped up and zipped in.
I am zipped up, zipped in because and everybody, I'm just letting everyone know this, and this is no joking. This show is going to require seat belts, a crash helmet, and a hazmat suit too.
Well, if anyone knows anything about you or has been in your presence or any type of relationship with you at all, believe me, honey, we've already got our seatbelts on.
What are you trying to say that your childhood was a big roller coaster ride? Maybe yes. What?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And roller coasters, roller coasters, they're fun, they're exhilarating, they're a little jarring, but I always walk off feeling glad I did it and glad it's over.
Maybe that's why you live way in another
Way over
state,
there, way
way over
over
there,
there.
across the way down the road. Wow, jarring. I remember you describing me as a mother, saying that, uh, "Hey, living with you is like living in a concentration camp." I remember that. This is one of my favorites, but I didn't know. I guess I could assume that that is jarring.
Yeah, that is a little jarring. And, concentration camp, that was just a joke.
It was
An unfunny joke, or as we call it in this family, a dud.
a big dud.
A big dud. So speaking of duds, welcome to the show. And then and also we are open to chats and questions, I think on YouTube and
Oh,
stream. Yeah, another.
you know what? Let me pull up the. No, I can't pull up the YouTube. Oh, you know what? I can't pull up the YouTube chat, but live on StreamYard. Yeah,
On
yeah, live
StreamYard.
on
Okay.
StreamYard. Yes, live on StreamYard. Okay, let's get to the show. My word of the day is trajectory. Have you heard of that word?
I have with the T, right?
Yes,
Yes.
trajectory. How would I spell it with a trajectory? What could that be started with an R?
Trajectory.
You're so good.
Well, I'm good with words I know, and sometimes not so good, even if the word I know. So yes, trajectory. Why did you pick that word?
Well, because that is what I'm going to share on this show today. The trajectory of my life is is going in a, is going in a totally different direction than it was last week. When I say trajectory, I'm really talking about the trajectory of my awareness.
Ooh.
Let me give you a definition of the word trajectory. That trajectory trajectory. The path followed by a projectile flying or an object moving under the action of given forces. The missile's trajectory was present. Zip, zing, zip, zip, zip. That's trajectory.
I love that word, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about the trajectory of your awareness. Wow, I don't know if that phrase has ever even been used before. I haven't heard it, but I really like that.
It hasn't been used before. Don't you realize who I am? I mean, I've been your mother for 39 years. You don't get me yet?
I get you as much as I can and as much as I can stomach. I do get you. Well, you never know if someone else, we got so many people and so many things going on. You never know if that's been used, but I've never heard it before. And I really like that trajectory of awareness. Great word. Well, my word is platitude with a P, platitude,
Hmm.
Platitude. And it's a remark or statement, especially one with moral content, that has been used too often to be interesting or thoughtful. So some examples
Please. What?
are everything happens for a reason. Money can't buy happiness. Better late than never. There's more fish in the sea. Just basically cliche statements that have really lost their flavor.
Oh, so a platitude is a cliche statement that have cliche statements that have lost their flavor.
Yes, yes. A remark or statement. Yes.
And by the way, I cannot stand those platitudes.
No, I can't either. And what you said about the trajectory, which is a tough word to keep saying more than once, is not a platitude.
What? The trajectory is not a platitude. What a
Well,
great way
well,
of using it in a sentence.
well, you said the trajectory of your awareness. That is not a platitude. I've never heard it before, and yes, very
Oh,
original.
oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to give you some points, even though I don't like giving you more points than me. I'm going to give you some points on that. That's really very insightful.
Yes, I don't even know how I found that word, but I like that a lot, and we're going to be able to call these people out on their platitudes now.
Thank you. I can't
Yes.
wait. Can't wait.
So
Speaking of, yeah,
well, go ahead. Would you like to jump into that of your awareness? I love that.
yes. Okay, here we go. You ready for this one? The world says be yourself. I've heard that
Oh,
before.
that's a platitude too.
And you really got to that. You were drinking and you even stopped mid
Girl,
drink.
I had to. When I heard that platitude, I had to plat on it.
Well, I'm glad you platted on it, and I'm about to plat on it too. The whole uh, the program platitude of being yourself. Well, here we go. Being yourself, is that even a thing? So the identity, what who says, who created be yourself? The ego. The ego is a be yourself because I don't have who I am. Okay, so here we go. I'm either identifying with my human person, HP, human person, or I'm identifying with the presence. The presence doesn't have a self. The presence doesn't have an identity. The presence, being myself, who is myself? Being myself is this made up identity from the ego, by the ego, created by the ego, fake identity. I don't have a self. I don't have a pattern. Being myself, well, let's see. Well, I'm trying to come up with an example. What I'm saying is, when I am open to being whatever, not myself, my ego's definition of myself, I can be anything and all. I'm not a self.
This is what's coming. Well, there's a couple of things coming to me is asking an oak tree to be an oak tree, or just be an oak tree. Well, number one, it's already an oak tree. It doesn't have to do anything different or anything. And then the other thing I'm hearing what you said is, is the stories of, well, what is myself? Well, these are the things that I like. These is my history. This is what I think I should be doing. All of these stories around what we have been that may be old stories or not even true or something we came up with to begin with.
Not may. So the ego only, when the ego says be yourself, there's only one way to be, is the way that the ego wants me to be. Do it like you've always done it. Express yourself like you've always expressed. Don't go out of the box. This is who Rebecca is. This limited identity. And I'm shedding the ego. I'm shedding all of that identity with the ego, and really starting to practice identifying with myself, my presence, who I really am, not this fake identity. And the word fake, here we go. Being fake, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as being fake. I'm just being in the moment. I'm expressing myself in the moment. None of it is fake.
Well, I like that a lot too. I mean, just going back to what even is being meant by be yourself, and what helps me when I translate be yourself to what works for me is just be free. Nathan,
Free
just
to express without stories or thoughts.
yeah. And then fake is the judgment. Why I'm being fake? Well, I might be lying, I might be sad, and then I'm trying to look like I'm glad, or I'm glad, I'm trying to look like I'm sad, or I'm changing my trying to fit in. Whatever I'm doing is what I'm doing, but me being fake is just another story.
How about this one? Being fake is when I act out the identity of the ego.
Right. What?
Being fake is acting out the identity of the ego, because that is not who I am. But it's the awareness, Nathan. My ego needs me to act it. It needs me to speak. It needs me to behave. It needs me to express. It needs me to express. Otherwise, it doesn't live. It has no identity. If I'm not expressing, okay, I'll give you an example. What happened? My ego just came out. And when I say the ego just comes out, it is so quick. It is just an instant. It is, I call it a possession of my body. It's instant. I'm trying to, there was a question.
Well,
Please help me.
yeah, no, I'm curious about the trajectory of your awareness.
Okay. The trajectory of my awareness. Okay, I'll give you an example. I know if I'm texting someone or if I'm communicating with someone, whether or not my ego has something to say. It usually is a, let me try to come up with an example, a real example. Of course, I'm going blank right now. Oh, I'll just give you an example from last week. Remember, I told you that the gentleman put his hand on the wall, and I said, "Get your hand off the wall." And I said it with an anger edge, and I said it with anger energy. That is the ego need. If I hadn't said anything, if I just was quiet, the ego wouldn't have a showing. It wouldn't have had a show. It wouldn't have been able to express itself. For me, it's just really being mindful of what is coming out of my mouth and why. What is the agenda? And is it because it's triggered? And if I'm triggered, then and I express that I'm triggered, then the ego's won. WON, one.
Well, I definitely try to stay as aware as I can of what's coming out of my mouth and why. I mean, that feels like an all the time practice for me.
And let me just say this, part of this Rebecca identity is she's instant to anger. I mean, with certain things, triggers, customer service, instant, questions, instant to anger. And so just being aware of that, being aware of how the ego wants me to behave and the ego needs me to express. And when I don't, when I'm not, when I consciously, then it is twisting and turning. It is a slow death.
Wow.
When I'm edgy, feeling edge, I know that it's the ego, and so it's a different way of living. Meaning, no, I'm not going to say this to my family member. No, I'm not going to say this to the customer service rep. No, I'm not. I'm just going to sit here and be quiet. You don't get a say, because there's certain things that, it's the injustice, it's the certain things that's custom to me, custom to this Rebecca identity. What are some things that are that your ego is a go-to? Is it I don't know, sadness? Is it, I don't know, irritation? What is an instant Nathan ego that it just goes right to instantly?
Yeah, well, we were talking about this yesterday because I told you I went to a coffee shop, or I was going to go to a coffee shop, but I didn't check in with you after that. I don't think I did. So I went to the
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. That was my mistake. I should have called you right afterwards.
You should have been on the phone with me the whole time and we could have walked through it, even if it was an hour.
Well, maybe I can get an earpiece and just have you with me all the time.
No, maybe to it. I'm there.
Well, I'll let you know when that happens. So I went to the coffee shop and I went there to work. And I am easily, as you taught, the ego, what's a trigger for me? I mean, a trigger for me is noise, sounds, the sounds of people's voice, their people laughing, talking, rustling papers, sounds can be very triggering to me. I went to the coffee shop to work and to concentrate. It was quite busy, and I went to sit down. There's some chairs with backs, and then there's chairs with stools. I found a chair with back, which is more comfortable. And as soon as I started setting myself up, I looked to the side at the people sitting next to me, and this guy was having just the loudest conversation with whoever he was with about whatever nonsense they were talking about. And I was just staring at them, listening, trying to check and see, is this too loud for me? And this girl, I was probably 1 foot away from her, and she looked up at me and I looked at her. I was just listening. I wasn't looking. I was listening to see if I could sit here. I don't want to get cozy and then be bothered. So I ordered my drink. I came back. They were still yapping. I moved my stuff very
Obviously.
obviously, disgruntledly, resentfully, angrily, passive aggressively. And then I shuffled to the other side, and it was a little bit quieter. But it just throughout the time, people were having conversations and joking and talking about, pardon me, excuse me, and my apologies, about bullshit. And about, oh, I ran this marathon, and Well, I mean, the likes and all the things that these things you were bothered with too, and just filling up the room with nonsense bullshit noise.
I mean, just like this show.
Exactly. Like the first 5 minutes when you were talking. Well, it is a show of nonsense on purpose.
Yes. And nobody has to listen. That's the
And
good
no one
news.
is really listening. Well,
Well,
not
that's
nobody.
well, not to say that we're not calling you nobody's audience. We appreciate all three of you.
And then we love the two of you that come for the first minute or so and then leave. I
Yeah,
don't know if
we had one that came and was viewing and then they left. But it does but okay, keep going.
So, anyways, I'll wrap up soon. But I had an assignment that I needed to write out a lot of things, and actually, the assignment was instructed me to find a quiet space where I could concentrate. And I really had to check in with myself because I wanted to stay at the coffee shop. I had my coffee, and then I was asking, is this a quiet, calm space for me, or am I triggered? And I was triggered. And I said, well, then I need to leave and find a different space. So I went to the library, and it was, wow, quiet
Hold
as the. Oh, go
hold
ahead.
on no, I was just gonna say while you were talking, I said to myself, this boy doesn't know about a library. Why are you going to a coffee shop when
I know. Well, the coffee shop is a good spot to work, but only doing certain things.
okay.
Yeah, because
So
I like the.
are you telling me that the library was quiet?
Well, it better be. And when I got there, some woman was still having a conversation, and boy, did I give her a glary eye from across the library.
And now you just gave the audience an example of how the ego won. The glary eye was the ego. You acted out the
Mm,
glary eye. See
I
the
did.
yeah, the side eye, the snub, the scowl, the disdain for our human citizens
Hmm.
is acting out the ego, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. See, you unconsciously acted it out instantly.
That's true. That's true. And I did have an intention. I think to not act the ego out is to let go of the story that someone's out to get me, that these people are in my way. If I leave this coffee shop, that means I'm wasting time. I lost my place. All those stories that are have to do with non-acceptance. If it's loud, I just go another place. It's time to leave. No story. And just like you told me about, now I lost it, but you were talking about, oh, we were on the phone and we talked about different scenarios with being on the phone, and we have the option to, hey, I'm gonna, oh, we talked about noise on the phone. Said, hey, I'll call you back later. Instead of scowling and trying to change. If I tried to change the people in the coffee shop, I would have looked crazy.
Well, you do look crazy even thinking that you can change the people in the coffee shop.
Well, I know I can't change it. That's the problem. Whoop, I was wondering when I was going to get the dip. I was talking for a while. I expected it a lot earlier than that.
No expectations. I just remembered I have my example of my what happened this week. So
Well,
there
I have a happy ending to my story, and I'll
okay, please, I'm ready to hear it. Go. For you not watching us live on StreamYard or YouTube, I have both hands covering my ears.
Oh man. So anyways, that's really funny for the ones that can't see and then you telling them what the visual. It's really funny. So this is a happy ending and it's quick. I did go to the library. I've been there maybe 2 or 3 times. Very quiet, really peaceful. Other people working. Wow, what a pleasant environment. And I wrote out that thing I was supposed to write out. And I can't wait to go back to the library. And I picked up a book well, we'll see if I'll read it or not, but I'll
My
keep you
book?
posted.
My
I
book?
didn't I didn't find your book, but I got the smallest book possible, and your book isn't small, which isn't bad, but
By the way, my book Program for Unhappiness: Exposing the Untold Truth is available on Amazon, but don't buy it yet because there's a big launch date in coming in a week or so, and that's it's because it's going to be a number one bestseller.
Well, can you hold up the book again and can you hold it still, please, for at
Yes.
least 3 or 5 seconds? That's it right there. Program for Unhappiness: Exposing the Untold Truth. Love that. Yes. Reality Spirituality Series 1 of 5. Okay.
And by the way, you see, audience, this is my son. The book was originally published in May, and this is the first time he's even looking at the cover. But I digress.
Oh, believe me, I've seen the cover. Then that's all I need to see.
Thank what? What?
You heard me.
You heard
You
me.
heard
You
me.
heard me. Again, if you're on Noom Vibe and you want to join, just ask to join the stage. We are live on StreamYard and we are live on my YouTube channel, Rebecca Norrington. So there's football season, and Nathan, I didn't even hit you with a big seatbelt. So we're after I tell you this one, this is a big one. So stay tuned. There's a sportscaster who I like to watch. I like to watch the analysis after the games on the weekend, after Saturday, Sunday, after the Sunday games, NFL games. I like to watch. Uh, it's called Get Up, and there's this sportscaster Dan Orlowski, and he used to be a quarterback, and last season he's just started talking on the panel, and he interrupts people. I mean, there's four people on the panel, all football players, and he interrupts them. One is the coach, and he interrupts them and interrupts them. Last season, I was just fuming. This season is the beginning of football. Oh no! Last season, I sent him a DM in his Twitter, either Twitter or Instagram. Stop interrupting everybody. I want to hear other. I want to hear what everyone has to say. This isn't the Dan Orlowski show, and he blocked me. So this year, here he is again. He knows it all. He's the one talking. He's taking over. He interrupts coaches. He interrupts other football players. And I'm saying, I'm going to send him a FedEx to the studio. A person that's confidential. Stop interrupting other people. I want to hear other people's commentary, not just you, Dan Orlowski. And if I had acted it out and sent it, because I wanted to, if I acted it out and sent it, my ego would have won. And then I was talking to our friend, what's his name? And I said, he says, your ego's going to win on that. And I said, can I have one more time? One last time. I really did. I said, can I have one last time, please? Can I send this, please? He said, you already had one last time.
Wow. Really, really good. Really good stuff. I mean, listen, the ego is such a liar and it's such a manipulator and it's such insatiable hunger, thirst for drama to win, like you said, to survive. And that one last time is bullshit too. And I'll be doing it one more time until I'm dead. And it's really it's really really tricky, and it's not so obvious. I mean, it sounds obvious now that we're talking about it in retrospect, but in the moment it's very good at sounding like rational, spiritual, whatever it needs to sound like to get me to do the thing. And like you talk about, has us hostage. It really has me hostage, and it's just doing a damn good job. But the funny thing is, it seems like it's doing a good job, but when I take a step back, it's all smoke and mirrors. I'm
All
not I'm
smoke and
not really
mirrors.
being held down, and I'm not really being forced to do anything. It's this psycho uh, entrapment that's not even real. And like you said, taking the action, I think there is something to be said about, did I take the action? It's almost like it's a dream. Like it's just a dream, and it's not real.
It is a dream. This whole thing is a dream, and one day you're going to wake up and I'm going to wake up, but this is a dream.
Well, I love that story, and There's so much. I just got a message this week again. I mean, I've heard this so many times, but I like this phrase. I think you used to use this, but I don't really hear us saying this anymore. But it's none of my business. There's so
Mm.
much it's none of my business. And I mean, there are so many people on TV and online doing, saying things that I wish they weren't, and this show isn't funny, and that show is boring, and they're talking too much, and their person. I mean, it's just there's so much to fix out there. No offense, everybody, but and listen, am I the TV producer? Am I paying them? Are they working under me? Are they asking me? No, 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 no. But believe me, I hope to God one day I am in charge and I am able to say to him or to anybody, you need to stop talking and interrupting people or you will get fired. Boy, I would really love to say that.
Well, you can say it, but just know that you'll never be happy or content when you do.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
It's going to be a trade off, but here we go. So listen to this. You ready for this? Have you ever? Well, let me just share this. This morning, woke up so ah yeah, and I said, "Oh, I'm so happy this morning." That's what I said out loud. And then I said, "Oh no, that's a statement from the ego." And then I switched it. I'm so aware this morning.
Wow, I love that one too. I just heard in a recent meditation by this guy that I follow that does daily meditations and he has different themes. If you're on Noom, just know that she's done her usual gag of dipping below the camera like she's exited.
Yes, but I'm back. Go ahead.
It's about maybe one out of every 4 or 5 times I start talking.
By the way, I have props this show.
Oh, really? Well, we better see them. Oh, got prop. Okay. I hope it's not a mirror this time.
Here it is. You didn't hear it? Look at
No, I see it. That's really pretty. I like that fan.
it's a fan. And then I also have, and I have an idea. I'm just gonna let's go to some nonsense real quick.
All
I
right.
have an idea of it's called an it's for old people, and I'm using myself included because I'm 68. It's for old people games.
I
We'll
love
have
that.
an old people game show for people in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and look at this breathing apparatus to to
Little breathalyzer,
yeah.
breathing. Or you push the thing up or what?
Wait, hold on. Oh, yeah. You see this little button here? Oh, it's not working. Oh, wait.
It like blows a little ball up or that thing goes up and down.
Yeah, you blow the ball up.
That's
It deep
fun.
breathing. So it would be games like this, even walker games. Who can walk their fastest in their walker? Who can
Of course, with you, it's always some kind of race who can walk the fastest.
in the
Leave these
walker?
people like, can we have some relaxing games?
Okay, you come up with the relaxing games. You can co-produce this segment with me.
Well, you're right. A game is a competition, so yeah, you're trying to win or get something done the fastest. Or
But isn't
well,
that funny? Who can walk in their walker faster? Who can put their dentures in the fastest? I mean, let's go with this old people thing.
well, I
Come
love
on.
that. How about how, who can count the number of teeth on their dentures the fastest?
Yes.
A safe old person game.
Yes. A nice, non-offensive old person's game.
Yeah, we don't want people tripping trying to race each other in their walkers.
No.
Do we?
Well, that would be funny. Oops.
Anything for a laugh.
Yes, we didn't say that out loud, did we? Okay, let's go quickly. This is a seatbelt thing. Here we go. How many of you have wants out there? How many of you have desires? Raise your hand.
Well, if
Wants
you're
and
talking to
desires.
me, I do.
Okay, wants and desires.
And if you're
Everyone.
out there, don't fall in a trap. It's a trick question.
I love when you warn the audience.
Well, I just did it. Now I realize we're in class, so I just want to give everyone a heads up.
Question. what if I gave, so what the point is having wants.
Yes.
Once you have a want or a desire, let's just stay with wants, a wants, it is never ending. One want begets another want.
Hmm.
What if I gave you everything you ever wanted? You had everything right now, whatever it is. You want another house, you want more money, you want whatever, a show, global show, whatever you want. If I gave you everything you wanted right now, would you be satisfied?
I would be.
I would give you everything you want, and then I say you have 2 more weeks to live, and
Well,
then
I
you'd
say
want to
we
live,
better get, we better,
and then you'd want to live longer.
that's right. Well, as I understand it, the wants, they do never stop. And that's a part. I don't know if I see that as, well, I just think that's just how it is.
How so this is my thing. Have you ever said to yourself, I have everything I want?
No, not like that. I can tell you what I said that's close to that.
I'm not talking about close. I'm talking about the cigar. But it's nice to talk about close.
Well, I'll say it anyway.
Okay.
And it is
I have my hands on my ears again.
for
Go.
everyone on Noom, just so you know. She has her hands up. So what was close is I have everything I need in this moment.
Yes, that was yesterday. We all have everything that we need at any particular time. If we don't have it, we don't need it. But the big thing is where I am living now is I have everything I want.
Hmm, that's pretty good.
Try that on.
I'll try it. I'll try it. I mean, I talk about fake. I don't want to. I don't want to say I have everything I want and then I don't have everything I want. But I like the vibration of that. I mean, I would love to have the vibration of everything I deeply quote unquote want. I do have in this moment. Yes.
Yeah, but you said the fakeness of it. That's the whole point. Who is doing the wanting?
Right. Right.
The
Right.
ego
Right.
is doing the wanting. So to chop the ego down and chop the ego down, but to starve the ego, to put the ego on life support, I have everything I want. And that is going to be my mantra from here to the last breath. I have everything I want. I've never said that before in my life. Never said it, never meant it, never even conceived it. But that's what I'm doing now. I have everything that I want.
Yeah.
Period.
I think that's not an ego statement. I think that's a energy statement, spiritual statement, and so it's really not even about the words. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not the it's yeah it's what's we always talk about the energy of contentment, of acceptance, of being in the moment, of not grabbing anything. I mean, the sun doesn't want to be brighter or less brighter or spin faster or anything. It just is. So you're bringing that to this human experience, and we just are. What is there to want from a spiritual standpoint? I just know that ego and that identity, that humanity is always wanting.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to be part of that humanity that is always wanting. I've been wanting all of my life. I've been following this plan, this ego for a long time, and I'm here to say I'm done with it. I have everything I want, and that's what I'm going to start. Scratch that. That's what I intend to vibrate from now on. I'm either vibrating a sense of satisfaction or dissatisfaction. And from here on out, I have everything I want. And Nathan, it is really calming. It is really it's just is there it just feels really easy and light. I have everything I want. Feels really good.
I look at
Uh-oh.
well, I'm always sticking up for
Ego.
that po little ego, just trying his damnedest. And what I what my compromise is, I have everything I want, and yeah, I'll help the ego out every once in a while, and we'll try to get that thing, and I'll see what I can do about that, and we'll work on that thing. Like, I'm gonna see what I can do for him within reason.
And good luck ever feeling the vibration of contentment with him.
I appreciate that.
And that's what I'm trying to say. I rather be feel content than keep feeding the ego. I'm done. The ego is not getting any more food. Well, who knows, but it is going to be on life support, starving. It's on a liquid diet through a straw. I mean,
Wow,
straw,
a straw.
a straw.
It's pretty brutal.
It is going to be brutal. I'm 68. I gotta pick this shit up. Let's go. I'm 68.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Hmm.
Well, let's see, we're almost to the end of this show already. So I just wanted to tie it all into, because somebody asked me about our show, and then they said, well, what is it about? And I was like, I didn't really have an answer. So I mean, I answered it like it's sort of a spirituality, and it's a little bit about you and me. So what would you say what would you say our show is about, if it's about anything? I mean, why did we have that title, Sense and Nonsense? I just want to get some insight on that.
I mean, you can't be any clearer. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense plus more. The plus more is the spirituality, but the show is about nonsense, spirituality, and the relationship you have with your mother. And the relationship,
Well, that no, that's very clear.
yeah, nonsense. Okay, here we go. Life, nonsense, the relationship you have with your
Well, the
mother.
show can't be about life. That's too general.
Okay, the show is about nonsense, mother, son, spirituality, and our relationship we're sharing.
I love that. I'll make sure. Yeah, no, that's good.
And it's entertainment at its worst.
It's just- it might not be about anything, but it is damn entertaining.
And it's not for everyone.
No, no, that's another one of our really good topics, but and that's something I've been sitting with too, well, for a long time, but just not everybody's cup of tea, or not everyone's program, or maybe it's not the message is okay, but they don't want to hear it from me.
We forgot to talk about, we're going to have to talk about it next week, is about the vacations, why people go on vacations,
Oh yeah, that was
and
good.
then why people go on vacations and come home talking about, would you go on a vacation if you couldn't, if you would you go on a vacation if you couldn't share it and post it and talk about it forever?
Well, I wouldn't do anything if I couldn't talk about it and share about it.
Really? Well, that's another. You know what? One of these days, your ego's going to let you go, or you're going to want to leave your ego and come to your mother, come running back to your mother. Let's hope that that day comes sooner
I
than
know. Well,
later.
we don't know what happens in the future, but boy, if my future is living with you again, that'll be quite a ride.
And I'm joking, but no, it's again and again and again. It would be the third again,
So my if my trajectory leads me to you,
which it will.
which it will.
Always to your mother.
You never know. I've so many times have been. You just never know.
No, you never know.
But we've
I
worked
like
it out.
you. I like
I
you.
like you too. I like you. I like you. like I like a football game, one quarter at a time. What's the middle called?
Halftime.
Halftime, then the break, and then another game another week later.
I know. And see, I like you all the time. I like you 24/7, 365. So that's the difference. That's the rub. I mean, every day, all day, every day, all day.
Well, she claims for all of our listeners that she doesn't get annoyed by me.
And the only reason why you don't believe it is because you can't believe that I can't be annoying, that a person can't be annoying. And I'm telling you, you don't annoy me.
I hope I hope it's true.
You don't annoy me. You
I
amuse
see it on
me.
your face though
You
sometimes.
amuse me, but you don't annoy me. And by the way, when you said I make fun of you for going on and on and on, not making fun, just that describing. I'm
Oh,
not making
describing.
yeah, not making fun of you.
Well, I am a describer.
Yes.
I'm working on it.
Practicing.
I'm practicing.
Well, with that being said,
That being said, so just a little, well, so we still got to get to our vacation. That's such a good topic. And we talked about ego taking over, how tricky the ego is, this games for old people, which I want to dive into. I mean, we could play those games. I've always wanted to be an old person, so I would like those games too.
okay.
Yes. And then our words of the day, platitude and trajectory. And we'll go into our song unless you have any last words.
I do have a last word. Sometimes you don't need words, you just need gibberish. That's my last word, which is gibberish. I'm bringing gibberish back.
Yeah, let's bring gibberish back. That's really funny. And this is just that last half of the song as an outro.
No, I want the whole song.
Well, let's see how we do with the outro.
This guy is always trying to control and do what he wants to do. Okay, I
No,
lose.
we'll do the whole song. I didn't even give you a heads up.
Ugh, which is
See,
par
now
for
you seem annoyed.
well, I'm not annoyed. I was disappointed because I love the song.
Let's do the whole song, and because I didn't give you a heads up about the outro.
We're not doing it your way. Keep going.
Hey,
And
it's time to go. Yeah. You know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's over. Now
oh no, I have to end it.